Shipping changes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Today's September 28th, 2019. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a Saturday afternoon. And last night's video, 5 ways to fix your eBay store right now. It went over really well. If you missed it, I'll link it below. Definitely check it out if you want to boost your store and fix a few things really quickly and implement a few procedures and policies that will absolutely get your sales kicking if you're having a slow day, a slow week, a slow month, whatever it might be. So one of those 5 things, make sure you go check out that video first, come back to this, pause it, whatever you need to do. But one of those 5 was about your feedback and your metrics. So a lot of people that I do store reviews for, they end up having a recent negative feedback or maybe some metrics and some defects that they don't recognize or that are not right. And so what do I mean by that? I'm gonna jump over to my computer and I'm gonna show you all of these things. We're gonna jump right into it because you guys just like me to get right to the point, so I wanna do that. But before I do, the negative feedbacks that people might leave you that are not okay, that they maybe use curse words in their feedback, or they use feedback that isn't true, like I'm leaving negative because I never received my item, is something that you could call eBay on and show that you have delivery, the item was delivered, and that the customer left you negative feedback saying they never got their item, when in fact they actually did. And so now, instead of having that negative feedback, eBay can remove it, and now customers that are gonna buy from you that check your feedback prior to purchasing will not see a comment that says, hey, I never got my item, and might think that, hey, maybe that seller's not a good delivery person or a good shipper, or I may not get my item, and that may cost you a sale. And it's totally false because you did ship it and the customer did get their item or it got stolen or whatever. That wasn't really your fault. And so eBay will remove feedback for certain reasons. If somebody's abusive or it's false, they're not gonna remove something if somebody says, you know, the item was more used than I thought it was. Opinion-based versus fact-based versus abusive. There are only certain reasons that they will remove feedback, but it's important that you work with a buyer and get a feedback revision within 90 days, or you call eBay within 90 days if there's an abusive buyer or something along those lines. I'll show it to you in just a second on feedback. That goes along with defects. eBay doesn't always get defects right. I have found defects on my seller dashboard that were not correct, and the tracking backed it up. So I've gone through that every, you know, I look at it every week or 2 weeks, and I just keep an eye on it because most of this stuff needs to be done within the first month to up to 90 days. And so it's a good idea that you keep an eye on these things as well, because these metrics of getting defects can shove you down in the search and cost you sales. And then on top of that, maybe a false negative feedback, you know, things like that can add up. I always say there's no one thing on eBay that's gonna crush you, you know, to a point, but a lot of these little things can add up and cost you 1 sale a day, 1 sale a day, 1 sale a day, and all of a sudden, instead of, you know, getting 8 or 10 sales a day, you're only getting 4 or 5. You could be doubling what you're doing just by fixing some minor things. So let's go over to the feedback and the defects on seller dashboard. I'll show you mine, and I'll show you how to check them and how to correct them and how to go through them if you think there's any kind of issue. Let's jump over to my computer and look at them right now. All right, so the first thing that I did was bring you into one of my eBay stores here with the feedback profile. You can just get to that by clicking the number of stars that you have, like this 5,562 stars. And then you can scroll down and it'll show you your DSRs, your detailed seller rating, which ours, I believe, is 5 stars for everything. I could be wrong. I think like automatic for shipping cost and all that stuff because we have free shipping and communication. Anyway, so this is pretty much set. You should have like a 4.9 or 5. You really don't want to have lower than 4.8, 4.9. This is what we're looking at, feedback rating here, which you all know. And in the last 12 months, I've received 1 negative feedback, and that's what I'm concerned about. And it's in the last 6 months I've received it, right? None in the last month. So this one was received probably about 3 months ago, I believe. These feedback roll off every 12 months. They go away. Now I do have 3 neutrals, but 1 or 2 of those was like, it was okay. Nothing you can do about it, but it doesn't really hurt that percentage unless there's a nasty comment. I wouldn't worry about the neutrals too much. If you can get them removed, great. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Now, we've had this account for 8 years, since July 4th of 2011, which is interesting. I've had my other account probably about 2 years before that, maybe like 09, maybe 2010. Anyway, so that 1 negative dropped us from 100 to 99.7. That's all it took, right? So more volume brings your percentage up. Well, let's take a look at that negative. And here it is. And it was left by somebody here, which I didn't think was fair. And, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. But he wrote tie is pre-owned, but is not in good condition. Different than the pics. Okay, so he's saying that the tie showed up and it wasn't either the same as the pictures or the condition. So I went ahead and opened this item for you guys. And here it is. And it was just a Tommy Hilfiger tie that he paid $9.99 with free shipping, right? So it's like, great, $10 item, free shipping got me negative feedback. I paid like 50 cents for this tie and I made like $6 or $7 profit on it. Anyways, you guys can see these photos were taken. Very, very good photos. Look, nothing wrong with the tie. The lighting makes it look like, I know, up in the corner, but there was nothing wrong with this tie. I mean, if you change the angle of the picture, you can see it's just the lighting. And, pictures showing the exact width being 3.5 inches. We've got the Tommy Hilfiger tag. The tie was in really good condition. Out of a 10, I'd probably give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. It was in pretty good condition, right? And if you scroll down, we described it as 100% silk, 3.5 inch wide, 57 inch long, excellent pre-owned condition. I think it's excellent. We put that they're approximately measured laying flat, and the colors may differ slightly from the photos. I put that for ties because they do differ sometimes. There was nothing really wrong with the tie. There was no damage to it. There was no stains. Everything looked good. So, I thought it was unfair, and he said that it's different from the pictures, and so I called eBay, and they wouldn't remove it. So I just politely replied and said the photos are HD pics showing good condition. No contact from the buyer, 100% return policy. He didn't contact me. He simply left negative feedback, and I offered to take it back for a full refund if he wasn't happy, and he said that he had already shipped it overseas to a company that he was going to do business with and needed to wear the tie for them, and it was already gone, and it was in like Egypt or something, which if you look at his profile, Darchez, it was kind of in the way he talked was definitely a foreigner, but never contacted me. It doesn't matter. He sent it out of country. I even showed eBay that message, and they wouldn't get rid of the feedback. But this gives you guys kind of an idea of, hey, you need to keep an eye on these feedbacks and either respond to them politely or have eBay remove them if they will. I have had feedback removed this year because people were very nasty or lied in it. Let me show you guys on Google. If you type in eBay feedback revision request, which I will link for you guys below, you can go ahead and click on this very, not the first one, but the second one here. And we should be able to, yep, okay. So handling feedback dispute with sellers, but we have a send a feedback revision request to your buyer right here. And we want to request a feedback revision. Now, the thing about these is you only get 90 days. So you guys can see none of my feedback is eligible for revision. So there's nothing I can do with that. It's done. It's over. That thing is older than 3 months. It's probably 3.5 months ago, but can't get any revisions on that. Okay. Now let's go over to the seller dashboard. While you're talking about before we go over there, feedback revision, I'm sorry, feedback revision is only for 30 days, and you get to make, that's another part I meant to mention, 5 revision requests per calendar year. You only get 5 per year. Keep that in mind. For every 1,000 feedback ratings you receive during the year, you can make an additional 5. However, these additional feedback revision requests don't carry over into the following year. So every 1,000 earns you 5 additional. You get 5 basic, and then 5 after you hit 1,000, and 5 after you hit 10,000, or 2,000, 3,000, and so on. So remember that. Only 5 for the year, and 5 additional if you go over 1,000 feedback ratings and beyond that. You only get 30 days to make a revision request. I apologize. You get 90 days to handle, if you call eBay, 90 days till they can remove it, if I remember correctly. Okay. Let's go over to seller dashboard. So you'll reach the seller dashboard on the bottom of your feedback profile. You could just scroll down. If you look, there's a view seller dashboard down here at the bottom, depending on which one you're looking at. Go ahead and close the tie here and go over to seller dashboard. And we can see the numbers. So current seller level as of September 23rd, which was, I think, the last review a couple days ago. And I am top rated. I have a transaction defect rate of 0%. If you click that, you can see the transaction defect rate is below standard at 2%, top rated at 0.5%. And those are for transactions you cancel for being out of stock or cases closed without seller resolution, which means you didn't respond to the case. The transaction defect rate is the percentage of your total transactions that had any one or two defects. Note that these defects often measure how satisfied your buyers were with the transaction. We don't count more than one defect per transaction. Okay, so we go ahead and shrink that up. And we have a late shipment rate, 1.04%. If we click that down, we have an above standard and top rated only. 3% is or less is your top rated. I'm at 1%, 1.04%. If you ship on time and upload validated tracking on your or your buyers tell us the shipment was on time when they leave feedback, you're all set. So I went ahead and opened the full report to see just what had happened here. And if you look, right, back in September 18th of 2018, which is weird, these should be gone because it only lasts 12 months. So these two are coming off. So currently I have 10 transactions that show they were not on time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Two of these should go away, so I have 8. And then next month in October, for some reason last year, we had 3 on the 26th and 27th that show that they were not, tracking indicates late delivery, that they weren't shipped on time. It's possible on September 18th, we either missed the post office or I don't know what happened, and maybe in October. We did have a stretch of a couple weeks where we really had some issues. There were things beyond eBay and things inside of eBay that weren't working right. I'll take full responsibility. So by next month, these 5 will be gone. And then in December, that one. So I'll only have 4 from this year. Between December and January, February, March, and April 9th, we didn't have a single package go out late. April, we had 1 go out late. Now, this one I know is our fault because I totally left it in my car and didn't drop it off. So I got a late shipment for that one because I have 1 day handling. Now, here on August 14th and the 16th, these are 3 that I have to check on because we have not, and at least as I know in the last few months, we've not had a day where I forgot to ship something or was late, and I don't know where these came from, especially 2 in 1 day, which is super, super odd and rare. You guys can see over the course of 12 months, only 10 packages were ever late, and I'm pretty sure that 3 or 4 of these were not ours. It happens one time here and there where I forget to take something or I drop it and, things get late, or it's possible they were delivered late by the USPS and some of these are being counted against me. So what your job to do is, as you track these, and you should be tracking them every month so you can still see them, is you click on the item and look at the tracking number. Find out what day it was supposed to ship, what day it was paid, what day you dropped it off, and then you'll know if it was your fault, if you didn't drop it off in time, get a scan, or if it maybe was eBay's fault or that it didn't get delivered on time. And maybe it'll show that the delivery was priority 2 to 3 days and you see that it was delivered in 2 days. You can call eBay and say, hey, look, this package says delivered late, but it was 2 days. And here is when they bought it on the 10th. I shipped it on the 11th and it was delivered on the 13th. That's on time. I can't help it if it didn't get there, any faster. The system clicked it, but it was definitely within 2 to 3 days. So they can remove a couple of these. And for me, it's not too terribly important because you see I have a lot of buffer. I'm only at 1.04% out of 3. But if I was getting close to this line and losing top rated, then absolutely coming over here and having some removed would help. In fact, having them removed anyways for late shipments might help search a little bit. So that's an important little thing to think about there. So the other thing is your tracking uploaded on time. And this is what's weird. Tracking uploaded on time and validated is 100%, right? But yet my late shipment rate is showing that I have stuff. So if you look, you can see that my not uploaded at all, uploaded later, uploaded on time, but no carrier scan is 0. So that's something that I would call eBay on and be like, hey, take a look at this. It's not right. Get rid of some of these. So this is things that you need to keep an eye out on that could hurt your account, slow down your search, or cost you customers. Now, the customers can't see this, but if you went to above standard or below standard, they certainly could see that you were no longer top rated. So just a few things to keep in mind. Hopefully this helps you out. Check out your reports. You never know what you'll find, and it's something you should be monitoring month over month. Like I said, I look at it probably once or twice every week or two, a couple times a month, and I check in on it. And it doesn't change often, but if I do see a change, I will take a look and see if anything updated that wasn't supposed to update. In fact, I'll probably call eBay on Monday and see if I can't get some of these late shipments removed, considering my tracking uploaded on time is 100%. Okay, so with that being said, I will leave you guys back to your eBay. And if you need any additional help, feel free to use the links down in the description box. I put them on sale, a big sale. A lot of you are interested in that. eBay store reviews, training programs, or both of the webinar replays on alternative sourcing methods to get better inventory, and affiliate marketing to sell any item on eBay or Amazon, even if you don't own it. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next time. I'll see you back here tomorrow with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel to get all of these great updates, helpful tips, and videos, make sure you do hit the sub button. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.